Imagine a second brain in your body, an organ that, although silent and often overlooked, plays a crucial role in your mental and emotional health. This invisible brain is located in your abdomen and is called the gut. Incredible, right? But science has shown that the gut is much more than just a digestive system. It's a real command center, sending messages and signals directly to your brain, influencing everything from your mood to your daily decisions. What makes this connection so powerful is the so-called gut-brain axis, a two-way communication system that links the enteric nervous system, present in the walls of the gastrointestinal tract, to the central brain. Think of your gut as a complex and vast ecosystem made up of trillions of microorganisms that perform critical functions for your health. They produce neurotransmitters, like serotonin, that chemical that regulates your mood, sleep, and even appetite. Believe it or not, about 90% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut. So, that feeling of butterflies in the stomach when you're nervous or anxious isn't just a metaphor, but a literal expression of how these two systems are interconnected. When the balance in the gut is disrupted, whether by poor diet, stress, or excessive use of antibiotics, chaos ensues. The gut becomes inflamed, and this inflammation sends distress signals to the brain, triggering feelings of anxiety, irritability, and even depression. It's no wonder that many of us feel that knot in our stomachs during times of stress or worry. The gut is literally crying out for help. Moreover, the gut is a true monitoring center. It has a network of neurons, called the enteric nervous system, that acts independently of the brain. That's right. Your gut can make decisions without consulting your brain. A simple example of this is the reflex of elimination. You don't have to think to know when you need to go to the bathroom, your gut has already made that decision for you. But this autonomy goes even further. Imagine that every time you consume foods high in sugar or saturated fats, it's not just your taste buds that delight. The bad bacteria in the gut, those that thrive on unhealthy diets, begin to multiply. And here's the surprising part, these bacteria can send chemical signals that influence your cravings and desires. In other words, when you find yourself craving sweets or fast food, it may be your gut, or rather, the bacteria living in it, making the request. And the more you give in to these cravings, the more you reinforce the presence of these ill-intentioned bacteria, creating a vicious cycle that affects not only your physical but also your mental health. You feel more tired, irritable, lacking the energy to complete basic tasks, and all of this can be traced back to your gut. Notice how a simple imbalance in the gut can cause a domino effect, reverberating throughout the body and mind. The gut, this organ we often underestimate, is actually in control of much more than just digestion. It influences how you feel, how you think, and even how you live your daily life. Uncovering the root of anxiety, how your gut shapes your emotions. Imagine waking up with a knot in your stomach, not quite sure where this sudden wave of anxiety is coming from. You take a deep breath, try to calm yourself, but the feeling lingers, following you like a shadow throughout the day. Many people believe that anxiety is purely an emotional response, something that starts and ends in the mind. But what if I told you that, more often than not, this sensation could be rooted much deeper, right in the depths of your gut? Let's start by understanding that your gut is more than just a food processing unit. It's a bustling, dynamic ecosystem, home to trillions of bacteria, all engaged in an intricate dance that influences much more than just digestion. When your gut is in balance, it produces and regulates key neurotransmitters, like serotonin and dopamine, which play a significant role in your mood and emotional state. In fact, about 90% of your serotonin, the so-called feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut. So, when your gut is happy, chances are, your mind is happy too. But what happens when things go awry? Imagine a busy city where suddenly the traffic lights stop working. Chaos ensues. Cars honk, people get frustrated, and nothing moves smoothly. This is what happens when the delicate balance of your gut bacteria is disrupted. Whether it's due to stress, poor diet, or lack of sleep, the harmony is broken, and signals start getting scrambled. This imbalance, known as dysbiosis, can lead to inflammation in the gut. And here's the kicker, this inflammation doesn't just stay in the gut. It sends distress signals to your brain, triggering feelings of anxiety, unease, and even panic. It's as if your gut is ringing alarm bells, warning your brain that something isn't right. These signals travel through the vagus nerve, a sort of superhighway that connects your gut directly to your brain. The gut, sensing trouble, floods the brain with stress signals, which can leave you feeling restless, on edge, or inexplicably worried. You might find yourself overthinking every little thing, losing sleep, or feeling an overwhelming sense of dread without any clear reason. This gut-brain communication is a two-way street. Just as your gut can send distress signals to your brain can also impact your gut. Ever had an upset stomach before a big presentation or felt queasy before a challenging conversation? That's your brain influencing your gut. But when this cycle of stress continues unchecked, it can lead to chronic gut issues like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, which further fuels anxiety and creates a vicious cycle that's hard to break. What's fascinating is that certain foods can actually trigger or calm this response. Sugar and processed foods, for instance, can feed harmful bacteria in your gut, throwing your microbiome further out of balance and making you more susceptible to anxiety. On the other hand, a diet rich in fiber, fermented foods, and omega-3s can nourish the beneficial bacteria, promoting a healthy gut environment and, consequently, a calmer state of mind. So, the next time you feel that familiar wave of anxiety creeping in, take a moment to consider what's going on in your gut. It's not just about the mind or emotions in isolation. Your gut is a key player in this intricate game of mood and mental health. It's not just about calming your thoughts, it's about healing your gut and nurturing the very roots of your emotions. Depression and digestion, the connection you never imagined. When we think about depression, we often imagine a mind clouded with sadness, a heart weighed down with despair. What we rarely consider, however, is that the root of this darkness could be found not just in the brain, but in the gut, the very place responsible for digesting your food. It seems almost unbelievable, right? But the emerging science is clear: the state of your gut has a profound impact on your mental health, and it might just hold the key to understanding and alleviating depression. Think about what happens when you eat something that doesn't agree with you. You might experience bloating, cramps, or an upset stomach. But the effects don't stop there. An inflamed gut can lead to a leaky gut, a condition where the lining of the intestine becomes permeable, allowing unwanted toxins and partially digested food particles to enter the bloodstream. This triggers an immune response and, yes, you guessed it, inflammation. But what many people don't know is that this inflammation doesn't just stay in your gut, it travels. It can reach the brain, where it disrupts the delicate balance of chemicals that regulate your mood, making you more prone to depression and anxiety. Imagine your brain as a finely tuned orchestra. For everything to sound harmonious, every instrument needs to play its part correctly. Now, picture that same orchestra, but with a few instruments out of tune. The violin strings are too tight, the trumpet valves are sticky. The result is chaos, a cacophony of sound that leaves you feeling agitated and overwhelmed. This is what happens in your brain when your gut is out of balance. It's like the maestro is struggling to keep everything in sync, and the resulting noise is felt as depression, anxiety, and mood swings. What's even more intriguing is how your diet can either amplify or alleviate these symptoms. Processed foods, high in refined sugars and unhealthy fats, can wreak havoc on your gut microbiome, the community of bacteria living in your digestive tract. These harmful bacteria thrive on junk food, leading to an overproduction of inflammatory substances that further disrupt the gut-brain axis. It's a vicious cycle. The more your gut is inflamed, the more your brain struggles to maintain emotional equilibrium. But there's hope, and it's often found on your plate. Imagine shifting to a diet that's rich in whole, nutrient-dense foods, leafy greens, colorful vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats like those found in avocados and nuts. These foods feed the beneficial bacteria in your gut, helping to restore balance and, in turn, support healthier serotonin production. It's like sending in a team of skilled repairmen to fix the broken instruments in your mental orchestra, bringing everything back into harmony. And then there's the power of probiotics and prebiotics. Think of probiotics as friendly reinforcements, good bacteria that help repopulate and strengthen your gut microbiome. Foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut are rich in these beneficial bugs. Prebiotics, on the other hand, are like fertilizer for these good bacteria, found in foods such as garlic, onions, and bananas. Together, they help heal your gut, reducing inflammation and, by extension, lifting the fog of depression. But let's be clear, healing the gut isn't a magical cure-all for depression. Depression is a complex, multifaceted condition influenced by genetics, environment, and many other factors. However, understanding the gut-brain connection can offer a powerful tool in managing and alleviating symptoms that may have seemed impossible to address before. So, the next time you're feeling low, overwhelmed, or just not yourself, don't just look inward to your thoughts. Look inward to your gut. It might be the last place you'd expect to find answers, but sometimes, the key to lifting the darkest of clouds lies in the most surprising of places. Beyond the symptoms, digestive allergies and mental health. Picture this: you've been struggling with digestive issues for as long as you can remember: bloating, cramps, unpredictable trips to the bathroom. You've tried changing your diet, taking supplements, maybe even consulting a few doctors, but nothing seems to work. And now, on top of all that, you find yourself feeling unusually anxious, irritable, or even depressed. It's easy to think these are separate issues, existing in different parts of your body, but what if they're actually two sides of the same coin? This is the hidden link between digestive allergies and your mental health, a connection that often goes unnoticed. The foods you eat can do more than just disrupt your stomach, they can disrupt your mind. Let's dive into why that happens. When you consume something your body doesn't tolerate well, whether it's gluten, dairy, or even certain fruits and vegetables, your immune system springs into action, treating these foods as invaders. This triggers a cascade of reactions, starting with inflammation in your gut. For most people, the symptoms might be obvious: gas, diarrhea, maybe even skin rashes or headaches. But for others, the consequences are far more insidious, silently affecting your mental and emotional state. Let's take gluten sensitivity as an example. You've heard the term brain fog before, right? That murky, unfocused feeling where your thoughts are slow, and you just can't seem to concentrate. For those with gluten sensitivity, this isn't just a figure of speech, it's a very real symptom. When gluten irritates the lining of the gut, it can trigger a leaky gut response, allowing unwanted particles to seep into the bloodstream. These particles then cross the blood-brain barrier, inflaming the brain itself and leading to that all-too-familiar foggy sensation. And it doesn't stop there. This gut-brain inflammation can manifest as anxiety, depression, or even mood swings. It's as if your brain is being hijacked, sending out distress signals because something deeper inside your body is out of balance. You might find yourself snapping at loved ones, struggling to get through the day, or feeling overwhelmed by tasks that used to be routine, all while your digestive system seems to be caught in a constant state of revolt. Now, think about how often you've heard someone say, "I'm just not feeling myself today." How many times have you said it yourself? What if, instead of brushing it off as just a bad day, we looked closer at what's happening in our guts? Because here's the thing, our digestive system doesn't just process food, it processes our entire well-being. And when it's struggling, every part of us struggles too. So, what can you do about it? The first step is becoming your own health detective. Pay attention to what you're eating and how you're feeling afterward. Did that sandwich leave you not only bloated but also unusually anxious or tired? Did that ice cream indulgence end in a restless night and a foggy, lethargic morning? These aren't just coincidences, they're clues your body is giving you, hints that something you're consuming isn't sitting right. Elimination diets can be a powerful tool here. By systematically removing common allergens like gluten, dairy, and soy from your diet and then slowly reintroducing them, you can identify the culprits behind both your digestive and mental health issues. It's a bit like cleaning out a cluttered attic, only by clearing away the mess can you see what's really going on. And don't overlook the role of professional testing. Working with a healthcare provider to test for food sensitivities or allergies can provide you with concrete answers. Sometimes, it's not about what you know but what you don't know that's harming you. Finding out that you have a sensitivity to something as seemingly harmless as eggs could be the key to unlocking not just better digestion, but better mental clarity and emotional stability as well. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the anxious thoughts that used to crowd your mind are gone. That the heavy fog that made every decision feel monumental has lifted. That you feel lighter, both in body and in spirit. It's not a pipe dream, it's the potential reality when you begin to address the deep, often hidden connection between your gut and your mental health. So, the next time you find yourself overwhelmed, not just physically but mentally, take a moment to think beyond the obvious. Your gut might just be the culprit behind those symptoms you've been trying so hard to shake. It's not just about avoiding foods that don't agree with you, it's about reclaiming your life, free from the invisible chains that food intolerances and allergies can place on your mind and your emotions. Because when you heal your gut, you don't just change the way you eat, you change the way you live. Share in the comments the mental changes you've noticed after changing your diet and lifestyle. We'd love to hear how these choices have impacted your well-being. Don't forget to like and share this content with friends or family who could benefit from this information to improve their quality of life.